Hello and welcome to another GED Express screencast with me, teacher Marco, here at Phuket PALS. And today, I will help you with your GED RLA test. What I will do is to give you some questions for you to answer, and I will help you out in answering them. So, just to give you a brief information about the GED RLA test, the RLA test is composed of three parts, and two of the parts are going to be focused on your reading capabilities as well as your grammar skills. So you will be given multiple choice questions and passages to read, while the other part will ask you to write an evidence-based argumentative essay. So what we will do today will be focused on your reading and comprehension skills. So let's proceed. Here's the passage. Now this is an excerpt from a teller's operations business training manual. So it's pretty short. Before you will be able to answer some questions on your GED RLA test, usually you will be given a passage to read. And here's one of the examples. Now, you can pause the screen if you need more time to read, okay? Before we move on to the questions. Okay, if you were able to read, now let's proceed with the questions. So for question number 1, according to the passage, why are the first 20 seconds of a transaction between a teller and a customer so important? Now, one technique that I can teach you is to find for the words that you see on the questions and try to check if there are similar words in the passage. So in this case, let's try to find out first 20. There you go, first 20 seconds. So let's read that part. Experts say that the first 20 seconds of a customer transaction set the tone for the whole transaction. Now let's go back to the question and let's take a look at the choices. A, that time period gives the teller a chance to learn the customer's name. I think that was not mentioned. B, customers expect to be served within that time period. No. 20 seconds? Alright. C, the tone of the teller-customer relationship is determined within that time period. And D, that time period allows the teller to complete paperwork within 20 seconds? I don't think so. So paragraph 2 explains how the impression made in the first 20 seconds sets the tone for the whole transaction and can affect customers' relationship. So the answer here is letter C. Okay. All right, now let's go to question number 2. Based on paragraph 1, what conclusion can you draw about the job of a bank teller? Let's go back to paragraph 1 and read it. On most days, you will be the only bank employee whom customers meet. Customers will depend on your knowledge and your ability to communicate. Your objective is must be to make a good impression through courtesy, accuracy, and promptness. Now let's go to the choices. A, tellers have an important role in the bank. A, teller's job is difficult to perform. C, tellers are likely to feel lonely at work. And D, customers' contact is rewarding for tellers. Although D sounds good, but we don't have an evidence proving that. B and C are definitely not what we are looking for. Even with common sense and without reading the passage, you know that B and C are wrong. So we have A as the correct answer. Why? If on most days the teller is the only bank employee whom customers meet, then he or she has the important role. You see that? Important role. Okay. So basically this is the main idea of this paragraph. Okay. So the important role of making a favorable impression and ensuring customer satisfaction. So the answer here is letter A. Let's go to number 3. What is the writer's unstated assumption about the customers? When we say unstated assumption, meaning this is a possible thing that the writer thinks. Okay, it's unstated, it's not written. So, what do you understand based on what the writer wrote? So, that is a rephrased version of this question. Okay, so to make it simple, what does the writer mean? That's it. Or what does the writer think about the customers? Okay, so let's take a look at the options. Right, customers are easily offended and easily pleased. B, customers will stay loyal to a bank if they are treated well. C, customers mainly judge a bank by the number of tellers and the speed of service. And D, customers do not like being called out by their first names. So, what do you think? So, the answer here is letter B. The writers focus on keeping customers satisfied and making a favorable impression on them shows an underlying assumption that treating customers well will ensure a continued relationship with the bank. So that's what we can assume. That's the reason why tellers should perform their jobs well to somehow get customer loyalty. So the best answer here is letter B. Okay, now let's go to number 4. Based on the details in the passage, what is the author's main purpose? Why is this manual written? For what purpose? Is it to recruit new bank tellers? Well, if it's to recruit, then we need a job description form. Or maybe, an information about hiring a teller. All right. To help tellers understand their job in a bank, I assume that when tellers apply for a job, they already know what they will do and they understand their job. C, to demonstrate the need for accurate tellers. It's the same as letter B. But the answer here is letter D. The training manual provides examples of interactions between teller and customer and gives reasons, right? So you see that it's focused on the customer satisfaction. And it explains why certain behaviors are important. And also, the writer's main purpose is to explain how tellers should treat the customer. So the answer here is letter D. Okay. And let's go to another question here. Okay. On the basis of information in the manual, what should a teller do if another teller begins talking to him or her during a customer satisfaction? Try to use your common sense here and also try to go back to paragraph 5 here. As you serve a customer, focus your attention on that person. Refrain from making comments to those working near you unless you need assistance. Your behavior will demonstrate to customers that you make serving them your number one priority. So, let's go back to the choices. So, what should you do if the teller begins talking to him or her? Ask the teller to wait for a moment until the transaction is complete. B, wait on the customer as quickly as possible and then respond to the teller. C, politely ask the customer to wait and then respond to the teller. Or D, speak with the teller as quickly as possible and get back to the transaction. So the answer here is A. Why? Because it explains that tellers should focus their attention on the customers, all right, and refrain from speaking to one another, all right. So the best answer here is A. And again, it says in paragraph 5, serving the customer is the number one priority. Okay, so letter A is the answer. All right, so these are examples of questions that you might have on your GED RLA test. I hope that you learned something from me today. And if you want to know more about Phuket PALS, please visit our website. That's phuketpals.org, or you can go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/PhuketPals. Please subscribe to our channel and like this video and share it as well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.